Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. You've probably seen the global headlines, right? The ones screaming that Germany desperately needs workers. Well, if you look closely at the actual data for 2026, the reality is a much harsher, highly targeted puzzle. We constantly hear that Europe's largest economy is just starving for talent. But the truth is, if you're applying for jobs based on how the market looked back in 2021, you're playing a game that honestly just doesn't exist anymore. So today, we're going to break down exactly what the data tells us about this new targeted gap. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to look at the German skills paradox, the junior IT crisis, the location mismatch, the specialization shift, and finally, those stubborn structural barriers that are keeping perfectly qualified people out. All right, part one, the German skills paradox, the illusion of a general skilled labor shortage. And honestly, this illusion is probably the single biggest misunderstanding out there right now. Just wrap your head around this number, 1,500. That represents the exact number of applicants currently fighting for one single junior consultant role in Berlin. It's wild. This is what researchers are calling the international graduate trap. You know the story. You have a master's degree, you're fluent in English, you've got basic German, so you apply for a comfortable office job in the capital. But instead of finding a welcoming job market, you find yourself at the bottom of a massive rejection pile. Why? Because in these generalist roles, there is an absolute oversupply of talent. Because here's the thing, Germany's shortage is real, but it's targeted. It's not about just needing more people. It's about having the right qualification in the exact right region. Think of the German economy like a highly regulated machine, looking for very specific missing screws. It's not asking, hey, are you talented? It's asking, are you certified for this exact regulated function? Whether that's a licensed geriatric nurse, a certified industrial mechatronics technician, or a master-level electrician. And this creates a really striking paradox when you compare general unemployment with targeted bottlenecks. Overall unemployment is actually remaining relatively stable, with only about 0.5% economic growth forecasted. But at the exact same time, critical bottlenecks are starving specific sectors like healthcare, skilled trades, and specialized IT. We're seeing traditional manufacturing face heavy losses, yet the care sector and specialized digital roles are just desperately empty. That mismatch, right there, that is the crisis. Which brings us to section 2, the junior IT crisis. AI and the disappearing entry-level job. Let's look at the IT sector specifically, because graduates like Pranavi, a real-life example from our source data, who has a master's degree in a specialized computer science field and sent over 230 applications, are hitting an absolute brick wall. This is where things get really intense. The past was all about hiring multiple junior engineers, but the 2026 reality, it's one senior engineer armed with AI tools. The whole paradigm has completely flipped. In the past, companies would hire a cohort of juniors, train them up, and basically just absorb the inefficiencies. Today, the economic pressure, combined with powerful AI tools like ChatGPT or cloud tools, means companies are turning entry-level tasks into automated workflows managed by a single senior expert. Listen to this quote from the source data. Whatever AI can generate within 1 to 2 hours, it might take weeks for us to do. I mean, wow. As 40% of European companies look to replace junior roles with automation for productivity, this new competitive baseline is crystal clear. The speed and efficiency are just too massive to ignore. Tasks that used to require an entire team of entry-level coders are now executed in an afternoon, completely erasing that traditional onboarding pipeline for recent grads. And the data backs this up perfectly. We're looking at a 33% decline in IT job openings for master's graduates compared to previous years. That's a 1/3 drop directly driven by this AI efficiency wave. And remember, this is all happening alongside a wider economic slowdown. It is basically a perfect storm for entry-level candidates, making it incredibly difficult to get that critical first foothold in the German IT market. Okay, moving to section 3, the location mismatch, where the jobs actually are versus where people apply. Let's dive into the geographic data, because it reveals a massive misalignment between what candidates want and what the economy actually needs. It turns out, it's not just what you do, it's where you're willing to do it. So we've got hubs like Berlin and Munich showing an oversupply. Again, 1,500 plus applicants per role. But then look at rural Bavaria or Saxony. Severe shortage. We're talking roles sitting empty for months. While international graduates are flocking to the saturated comfort zones of English-speaking hubs, rural logistics companies and regional manufacturers simply cannot find the specialized technicians they desperately need. They need primary school teachers, skilled welders, and IT systems engineers. But literally nobody is applying. The reality is, Germany's labor shortage is often geographic, not just professional. You absolutely have to apply where the actual void exists.
If you're strictly targeting major cities, you're volunteering to compete in a surplus segment of the market instead of solving the actual demographic shortage. Widen your search radius just 45 minutes outside of those major metropolitan bubbles, and your odds of landing a secure role change dramatically.
Let's hit Section 4, the specialization shift, the death of general IT and traditional manufacturing. This economic restructuring is quietly killing off once safe career paths. The age of the generalist in Germany is rapidly coming to an end. Just look at the trends. Declining, basic web dev, manual testing, junior coding. Surging, SAP consulting, cybersecurity, cloud engineering, embedded systems. Just being in IT is no longer enough. The market is ruthlessly filtering out basic and generalist roles while begging for highly specialized experts who are much harder to replace. If your profile is just basic web development, competition is incredibly high and the risk of outsourcing or automation is massive. But if you pivot to SAP or embedded software, you're stepping into a zone of immense stability. We see the exact same thing in manufacturing. Declining, traditional combustion auto. Growing, EV software and systems. As giants like Volkswagen face up to 50,000 potential job cuts, the safe harbor has shifted entirely from mechanical parts to software, ADAS, and power electronics. The entire automotive identity of Germany is transitioning. They are cutting costs on traditional combustion engines and redirecting all their capital into electric vehicles and smart systems. If your skills don't map to that future, you're vulnerable. Finally, Section 5, structural barriers. The uncompromising walls of German bureaucracy. Because even if you have the right specialized skills in the exact right location, there are systemic, non-negotiable hurdles keeping perfectly capable candidates locked out. So you might be asking, with a new Skilled Immigration Act, why hasn't immigration closed the gap? You'd think a master's degree in basic English would be your golden ticket in 2026, especially with laws designed to lower entry barriers. But the data shows it absolutely is not. The gap remains because policy on paper is drastically different from policy in practice. Here are the real hurdles. 1. Professional degree recognition. 2. B2 or C1 language proficiency. And 3. Navigating local bureaucracy. Germany values proof over potential. Without official degree recognition and high-level German fluency, you are legally invisible to employers, no matter how badly they need staff. You could have 8 years of experience, but until the local bureaucracy officially recognizes your paperwork, an engineering firm legally cannot hire you. And language? It's the ultimate gatekeeper. Technical jobs increasingly require team-level German, which effectively filters out thousands of international applicants. This quote perfectly sums up the current policy failure. Germany has built a wider door, but the hallway behind it is still clogged. Visa backlogs and recognition delays are literally keeping the actual talent from reaching the factory floor or the IT department. The door might be propped open by the new Immigration Act, but if it takes months just to get a credential recognized, companies simply can't wait and applicants run out of savings. So what is the core takeaway here? The market isn't closed, but it is ruthlessly selective. You have to align your skills with the exact shortage zones. You must stop applying blindly and start pivoting toward the highly specific, regulated roles that Germany actually lacks. The market is completely unforgiving if you don't play by its new rules. Upgrade your language skills, get formal recognition for your qualifications, and look outside the big cities. I want to leave you with this provocative question to really analyze your own positioning. Are you building your career strategy on the German job market of 2021 or the hard reality of 2026? Adapting to this new, targeted reality is quite literally the only way to succeed. So take a hard look at your skills, adjust your trajectory, and I will see you next time.